lifestyles. Let's talk straight for a minute. Not that we ever don't talk straight, but you know, I say that because I want you to understand how serious I am about this. The elites cheat all the time. Now, in the grand scheme of life, is there any such thing as cheating? No, that depends on your moral code. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about when there are established rules, methodologies, whatnot. When you are competing in something and when you are measuring something, you are measuring against certain criteria. And there's always wiggle room. And the reason there's always wiggle room is that everything is approximated because chaos factors make it so it is impossible to be absolutely precise. And the fact of it is that there are always ways to cheat just a little bit. Whether you're talking about people that play against the point system for technical wins in combat sports, you talk about power lifters cheating ranges of motion to win or whatnot. There's always places to kind of cheat. And the problem with cheating is not the fact that they're cheating. Give or take whatever, you do what you have to win. That's neither here nor there. The problem with it is that on a personal level, they have no way to measure how good they really are at any things because they're only technically within the bounds of the criteria, but they're not really measuring what is attempting to be measured by those set of criteria and the competition or whatever it is. You see, a great example is the deadlift. When you do the deadlift, you lock everything down, you get yourself set, you lock everything down, you grab the bar, you create your torque, and then you lift. It's all hip drive. It's all posterior chain. It's all hip drive. Problem is that you can make it easier on yourself by, rounding your shoulders forward. Because when I round my shoulders forward in the bottom position of a deadlift, my hips can raise up, which means I'm shortening the range that I have to lift the weight, and thus don't have to lift it as much. And plus, by shortening that range, I'm bringing myself closer to my strongest point in the lift before I even start it, which means that I don't even have to struggle through the bottom part of the lift to get the weight off the ground. But there's a huge price you pay for that, because by rounding your shoulders, you put a lot more stress. When your spine starts rounding, you put a lot more stress on individual vertebrae or smaller clumps of vertebrae than you do when everything is locked down and torqued. Thus you run the massive risk of popping a disc. Some cheats are not near as physically critical to your health, for sure. Throwing a shitty formed punch to knock somebody out is certainly much lower risk to your health. But when you start flailing like an ape, you're not really proving who's better at martial arts, you're simply proving that you're more aggressive. If the competition was all about whoever's the more aggressive, there would be no reason to just train. There wouldn't be any reason to train. You would just simply amp up and amp up and amp up and amp up. And that's all it would be. So understand that what I'm getting at here is that you really can't trust the elite athletes as much as you would like to, because the majority of them are not using tip-top form. The majority of them are not using the criteria to better themselves. They're simply looking to maximize the boundaries of the criteria so that they can push it and win. There are many upsides to competition. There are many reasons to compete. Competition is a great thing, but there are also downsides, and that's one of them. It's probably the biggest one. The biggest downside is that there's lots of room to cheat yourself and to cheat the system and get wins that don't really mean anything. And If all you want to do is win, well, that's fine. If you just want that piece of paper, if you want that belt, you want that trophy, that's fine. Whatever. Be my guest. But if you're really trying to do something with your life, personal development's where it's at. Make yourself better. Do the work. Put in the time. Put in the effort. Do the thing and become the best because you're the best. Don't become the best because you can push the limits. Talk to you later. Good journey.